everyone, welcome to our video about the human impacts on the biosphere. Some people say that Earth is an island. They say that because all the organisms that live here on Earth are limited to whichever resources are available right here on our planet. We, at this time, are not able to go get resources from other planets or other places in the universe. Knowing how we interact with our biosphere here on Earth can help us understand how we can protect our resources, because some might say that this Earth as an island is pretty fragile, and that not only is it fragile, but we might be harming it. Humans interact with their biosphere in many different ways. We participate in food webs and biogeochemical cycles, but there are three big main ways that we interact with the biosphere. You might be familiar with them. The first way is through hunting and gathering. So, for hundreds and thousands of years, even, we have been hunting, fishing, and gathering foods from the surrounding area that we live in. And that has had a bit of an impact on the species that we've been hunting, fishing, or even gathering. If we've been over hunting or overfishing in a certain area, we can dramatically affect populations there. And same thing with over harvesting if we're gathering food. So we've been having an impact in that way for thousands of years, but it has become more intense as we've developed more technology and better technology to do hunting and gathering. Another way we're impacting the biosphere is through agriculture. So, a long, long time ago, there were small farming communities and small farms, and those were already starting to impact the world around them because people clear cut forest or burned forest so that they could use the land for farming, and that already started to change the terrain. But now, with more technology, we have large scale farming where we've clear cut lots of land and we are using that area for farming. So rather than having the transpiration and photosynthesis that was occurring with trees in that area, we are now doing small scale farming and possibly even seasonal farming. And it can be damaging to the soil in that area because farming takes a lot of nutrients out of the soil that just an ordinary forest wouldn't do. So it's stripping the land of its nutrients, and we're doing that at a pretty rapid rate at this point in time. So we do have to start thinking about our agricultural practices, even as far as just putting pesticides or fertilizers on our crops. Industry and urban development have had huge, huge impacts on the Earth's biosphere. The Industrial Revolution started in the 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s. And during the Industrial Revolution, we had rapid use of some of our non renewable resources like coal and petroleum and other fossil fuels. Because of that, we ended up producing a lot of smog and releasing a lot of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. That has changed the face of the Earth in the past 150 years or so. Not only did industry and the Industrial Revolution change Earth because of the carbon cycle, but we also cleared out large spaces of land for urban development to make cities. And while cities do have little parks and green spaces, that is not the same as what this used to be. This used to be forest and seaside, and it was not full of skyscrapers and buildings and streets and cars and people. And so our industrial revolution led to urban development, and that has changed the face of the earth, possibly forever. So now that we've started to recognize our impact on Earth, we do a couple different things. We've started to classify and think about our natural resources, and we've even tried to start using more sustainable practices when we're doing things like hunting or fishing or agriculture or urban development. So, classifying resources basically just means determining whether resources are renewable, meaning they can regenerate or be replenished, or non renewable, meaning that they cannot replenish naturally. Renewable energy resources are those that are able to come again very, very, very quickly, like hydropower using water, solar energy, biomass energy using things like bacteria and plants for energy. Wind energy is pretty much unlimited, and geothermal energy is renewable as well. But non renewable energy resources are the ones that once we use up, they're pretty much gone for a long time. They cannot be replenished naturally in a short time period. Those are things like fossil fuels, like petroleum and natural gas, coal, and even nuclear power, because of the waste that it generates, is going to be considered a non renewable energy resource. Once we classify our resources, we are able to start making better choices about which type of energy resources we are going to use on a regular basis. Hopefully, we will start to move towards using more renewable energy resources if we want to continue living on this planet for generations and generations to come. Not only have we started to categorize our resources, but we've also started to be more sustainable in our development. That means we're using natural resources without depleting them or causing long term environmental harm. What I've shown here is an example. In a certain area, farms were being affected negatively by aphids, which are small insects that eat the leaves off of the crops and prevent plant growth. Now, at some point in time, if you had aphids on your crops, you would have sprayed them with insecticides that would kill all the insects in that area. Nowadays, because we're trying to be more sustainable, we use a natural remedy, which is to bring ladybugs into that area. Ladybugs eat the aphids without damaging the crops and also do not include dangerous chemicals that could hurt other insects that we didn't intend to kill. So, ladybugs to kill aphids is a sustainable development that is going to be more natural and last longer than just spraying chemicals to kill the aphids. Thank you so much for listening.